Good morning and welcome to the Awaken Bruja Perspective. I am Vicki Wiles, your Awaken Bruja, and I was thinking about my spiritual awakening and the coming to terms with my own human nature and consciousness. And I figured we'd talk about that today because as many times as you can hear somebody's story or hear their perspective, it's still up to your own comprehension to understand it and to really grasp the idea of what a Kundalini awakening is. For me, when this happened, I had been an adult. This happened a few years ago. I had grown up in trauma and just chaos, a lot of lies, a lot of painful situations physically and emotionally, and I had just survived years. So my psychological thoughts at that time was based on my nervous system living in fight or flight. That was the norm for my human body, this vessel, if you will. When I really started digging into shadow work and learning your subconscious and your habits and the way you think and trying my best to grasp healing in an from an emotional standpoint, because I wanted something so much better for my family and for my grandbabies that were coming into this world, and I really wanted to just get my crap together. In doing that, it opened up my mind to experience whatever it was that nature had to show me. I got so determined in my heart, like in my being, the soul of me was like, I want to know truth. I want to know my truth. I want to heal whatever it is I need to heal, which means I was willing to look at anything the universe had to show me. Any deep, dark-seated secret inside of my head, I wanted to shed light on it so that I could adjust any issue or problem that was living inside of me. In doing that, I had a moment of very physical energy move through me. And I remember it very clearly. I was walking down the steps. We had moved into this house not too long beforehand when I really started going through this process. And I was trying to heal from autoimmune and just random passing out, heart palpitations, a lot of stomach issues, gut issues. I had all these things happening to me that when I had this moment of clarity in thought that was like, I'm home, and I felt my body physically relax. And in that moment, something moved through me. It was like my body and like all the muscles said, okay, whoo, I can breathe. And in letting it breathe, the waters and the blood, all the fluids inside this vessel felt free enough to just move wherever they felt like they needed to move. And it felt like a coiled serpent, like think of a snake charmer, like that snake popping up through my spine and shooting out the top of my head. If you've ever felt butterflies, chills up the back of your neck, you know these feelings, heart palpitations, when your body, if you're feeling something, you're not in control of making that movement. Your inner workings are making that movement. Your inner nervous system that you're not controlling. Just like breath. It released tension in my body. And when that happened, my mind, it felt like my vision looked like it shifted, like as if an earthquake just happened, even though I know physically it didn't happen, but my eyes shifted like that. And they saw clearer, like everything became brighter, and my thoughts, it was like both sides of my brain, like hemisynced, and they saw each other, and everything was clear as day. All of my memories from my childhood that I had suppressed, that I forgot, all came back to me. Every moment. And then in having those moments come back to me, it wasn't just like seeing them, looking back, seeing them as this is something that happened. It was like I could look back and see it as what had happened, of oh, I did this, or oh, this happened, or I went there, or as a very physical aspect. But I also saw my vision of what it was that I was experiencing as a child with the thought process I had then as a child. Not knowing, not understanding. I could go back and think about it and view how my body was physically reacting, what I thought was happening, what I didn't know was happening. I saw my viewpoint from the child that had very limited experience in life. So when those neural pathways opened up and I could view myself, I was able to view myself as the child and as the adult looking back and knowing all the things that I know now and seeing things from a different perspective, seeing my parents from a different perspective and who they really were. Because as a kid, you put certain beliefs on your parents. You know, you might think your mom's the best mom or your dad's the best dad or he's super strong, right? But in reality, that's just your internal belief system because that's all you know and that's the energy and emotion you give to those individuals in your life. I gave my dad a lot of power in my life and in my mind because that's all I knew as a male figure for a majority of my life. Starting out, that was the influencer I had to show me what it was like to be a man, to show me what it was like to be a father, a husband. He was the person that I was watching and learning from, which is not the vibe that I should have been learning from at all. But I didn't know any better because I was a kid. However, I do know better now. I do know better as an adult, and I can hold myself accountable for the energy that I want to bring into this world and the energy that I want to um, give to my family and for them to experience. Like if I was to just say like, well, this is how my dad was, so this is how I am, or this is how my mom was, so this is how I am, and just made that excuse, and then find myself being cut short from them because I'm not willing to engage with them or learn from them or experience life with them. I'm just holding myself at what I want everybody else to experience with me. I'm going to seclude myself. That's going to end up hurting me in the long run and not let me experience everything that I want to experience. So, in awakening, it really showed me everything. My memories are insane. I mean, it's crazy what I remember, and I can think back of like, oh, that's funny, I always, eat this way or whatever, and I can instantly click back and think of the first time that was introduced to me, or who introduced that to me, and it's like a random thought, a memory just clicks back in. And when I had this awakening, it was understanding how you remember, how your brain is working, how your body is functioning. The fact that your brain is a computer, it is just learning your human nature from this experience that you've had for this many years, however, whatever age you are. It only knows what you've shown it. It only knows what you see and what you're physically looking at. And if you're not paying attention to what you're looking at or looking for something in particular, then you will find whatever first appeals to you. And I was stuck in just living in survival with my brain just showing me more things to survive from, more things to fear, more things to worry about, more things to be unsettled, unhappy, just all the things. And my body was physically screaming at me. I mean, that was the autoimmune. That was my body's inflammation yelling. It was my heart palpitations to the point of me passing out. My body's like, I'll reset you myself if you're not going to listen to me. And it wasn't until I started actually listening. And it was like, you know what? I am this vessel. I'm in this body, this flesh and bone, this fire vibrating through me, an electrical current. Existing in this body. This flesh has its purpose, and it is a thing that is existing in this world. That it's the face that I show you. It's the face you interact with. It's the arms that I hug my children with, and all the things. But we all are energy. We all are consciousness. We forget that we have this awareness that lives through us, this spirit that is animating us. That is God. That is consciousness. That is life. It's energy. We're a being. We're our heart pumps iron. That's what our blood's made out of. What's at the center of the earth? What's pumping there? We all live like a magnetic pull off of each other. Humans, trees, fish, the grass, the birds, everything triggers the other. It's one big ecosystem, for lack of a better word. But you can look around and you can see the corruption and the discord and the separation from human nature, because humanity is not a part of nature anymore. It's gotten pulled further and further away. Religion pulls you away from your spirituality and your own self-knowledge of inner knowing, your own alignment. The medical system pulls you away from true health. Instead, it's about money. It's about insurances and medicine that just keeps you needing more medicine with extra side effects and all the things. Nature has provided everything for you. But yes, it takes accountability and work. I chose, and I'm choosing, to do the best that I can for me. And part of that is getting out of the system. If I don't like the stuff that I find in grocery stores because I see it so full of processed foods with lots of chemical ingredients and just things that are poison for the actual physical vessel, then I'm the one accountable not to go buy those things. I'm the one that has to say, okay, you know what, how am I going to do it? I'm going to grow a garden. I don't know how to garden. I'm going to figure it out. I have a cell phone and a computer, and I can Google anything. And AI, all I have to do is ask. I can just tell it where I'm at, and it'll give me all the details of when to plant what and how far apart to plant it and all the things. I just have to ask the question and then be willing to implement it. Learning to buy meat from farmers versus going to the grocery store and just start that helped my health. Learning to drink mineral water and spring water instead of purified water has helped my health, because the body's not made to drink purified water. Nobody's made to drink purified water. That shit's for machines. You need minerals. That's what our body thrives off of. We need the sunlight. We need air. We need water. We need minerals for our blood, for our bloodline, for our consciousness. We are a part of this world, and humanity has been here for so long, but consciousness fades in and out throughout the times. You have people who are aware and who see it and see the falsehood of society and the programming that's been taught to you in schools that sit you down, in situations that, like hospitals that are supposedly places that are healing, but instead you have unhealed people trying to heal sick people when you should be encouraged to have healed people. People who are working with their own vibration, their own softness, their own gentleness, their own loving nature so that they can create a vibe of peace. When you're sick, the first thing you want to do is sleep. Your body is like, I'm going into hibernation mode and I'm shutting down. And then if you do that in a hospital, you ain't getting any sleep. You're going to get woke up how many times for blood draws. Nature would tell you to let them sleep, to let them rest, give them water, give them what your body's craving. Because if your body's craving something, it's craving it for a reason. You know what's best for you. You put kids in school systems with a bunch of other kids and a bunch of other different energies that are all just forced to, Lord of the Flies, survive each other. And you put teachers in there who aren't raising these kids up with them. You have different teachers for every year until what grade, and then you get multiple teachers. So you have all those different energies teaching your kids. All those different people, whether they are emotionally healed, if they are self-regulated, if they are conscious of their behaviors, their words, and their actions to all these little people that are learning and watching and growing. A lot of society's hands off. Like, not my problem. That's not me. That's not my kid. That's not mine. Whatever. And in some way, you don't want people to correct your kid because you see the way they're living. The old saying used to be, it takes a village. And it really does, because when you do have the right village, the right tribe of people who just love each other and who just love the kids and who just want what's best for the spirit of each other, it's easy. The work is easy. I would bend over backwards for my grandbabies. I would do anything. You know, if my kid calls and says that they need me, I'm here. We're going to help each other. There's nothing more important to me than these little beings that we've brought into the world, that we are raising as a family. And that comes with the notion of knowing what society is like, knowing how the systems are, knowing that the government and the leadership that is supposed to be the ones in charge are not self-regulated or healed and don't speak with words of love, but tend to scream and yell and call names and do all the things to degrade each other, to point fingers instead of fixing the problems. Because when you really want to fix something, you'll listen. You won't scream, you'll listen. You'll sit and come to conclusion and find out what's best just for being human. It's humanity. And I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention to anything of what this world was like. I was just surviving it until I had this awakening, until everything changed for me. And I'm like, yep, they just, and it's not they, it's you say they, I say they, like, there are people that are making you think these way, or showing you that this is the only way that life is. But the truth is, we see whatever we see. So if I don't participate in the school system, if I don't participate in healthcare, if I don't participate in insurance and the putting money in case something happens, if I don't participate in as much as I possibly can, if I can get around as much as I possibly can and outthink the way I feel like I have to exist, I find myself much happier. I love the fact that I have my little plot of land. I love the fact that I'm learning to grow my own food and can and preserve it, and I know I can eat healthy and still have my sweet treats when I want to, because I won't feel so bad if I put a little bit of poison in me versus feeding myself toxins non-stop and then expect my body not to be inflamed. The society has been profiting off of humanity for way too long. But now, people aren't just waking up to the way things are, but they are physically waking up. Their bodies are physically turning on. The brains are clicking, and we're activating our memories, our human nature. I'm very, very blessed. I'm very blessed to have woken up. And I see so many people that are still asleep. But it's not that they're unaware. They've just yet to disassociate enough from their vessel, the body, to understand the difference between if it's their brain speaking to them as the computer, or if it's their heart speaking to them as their soul. And I pray and I hope that anybody who hears this is listening with their soul. That little voice inside them. That little whisper that has been there all along. I hope you wake up. I hope you wake up to your vessel. I hope you wake up to your purpose. And I hope that you live this life, this experience, with joy and excitement and wonder. Good luck to you guys.